let's talk about this moment in hip hop history. The Jay and Nas beef, man, that thing went on for about 7 years. People didn't know that it went as long as it did. What's good? Don't forget to hit the like button coming through the door. Yeah, people never knew it went as long as it did. Now, there was a lot of moving parts in this to bring in the union together for them to make up. Now, we've already went through the history of the beef and all that, so you know that. But reuniting them coming to terms of agreement. This was the brain trust of two people, L.A. Reid and Steve Stout. Def Jam was crumbling at this time. Jay-Z was retired. He was president. They were turning their I don't know what's going on here. Well, I'm in the sticks, so I can't really say, I should have never taken this route to get here. I know that now. But I'm like, they not finna do construction on Saturday. That's exactly what they did. There's been construction all the way through. Now, I'm doing good, T. Austin. Now, here's where we were. Because I don't know what part y'all probably got blurred out on. But here's where we were. At that time, Steve Stout, the commissioner, Steve Stout, gotta call him that, and L.A. Reid, they were running it. Def Jam was losing money. Straight up and down. So the fact that they were losing money and all the acts, Method Man, Redman, everyone who's involved, they seem to have a problem with what's going on with Jay. But they're disgruntled because their projects is getting ready to come out and they're not getting a budget. Now, these are Def Jam proven stars and proven talent. Nas, who last double CD was not marketed well by Columbia, but he owed Columbia another album. So they were like, look, Nas owe us about 2 more records, really, because they didn't want to count Lost Tapes as an album, but they ended up counting Lost Tapes and making an album and letting that count as a Nas album. So they came in on a portion to let Nas go to Def Jam. And they only let him go based on the facts that were given. They let Nas go to Def Jam based on the fact that they're going to get a piece of Hip Hop Is Dead out. Now, they got to sell this to Jay. With all the beef and everything that was going on, Jay is thinking comeback. Jay is getting ready to come back to the game because the company is failing and a new Jay-Z album could save it. So no, a Jay-Z album, could turn things around. It could save their quarter. So while they're going through this process, other problems start to ensue and show its head. Nas is ready to come. Everything is set up for Nas to go there. Def Jam want Nas. Because contrary to what people believe, Nas is a staple in hip-hop. His name alone moves units. People will actually get up and physically grab a Nas album. Something that all these new artists that they were spending all this money promoting weren't doing. Now we get to the problems. We got to get to the problems. Bridging this over to Jay. So they get Leor Cohen, L.A. Reid, Steve Stout. They're all in the room and they want to meet with Jay. And they're telling Jay, we got an idea. And it's going to be huge. Now, Jay is getting ready to stage this monstrous comeback. Because Dipset is running things at this time. And he's using Dipset. Basically, they're going to be the gas to come back. Because while Jay was gone, they were doing their thing and clowning Jay. Pretty much. And he was finna do this, State of the Union thing. This was the State of the Union concert and all this. That's why his album was supposed to be more diplomatic. And the album was going to be called, instead of Kingdom Come, State of the Union. So, and he had a song called Face the Nation. And it was supposed to be like the opposite of Dipset. They were going to go at Dipset, but from a whole different angle. And it was mostly what you got on Kingdom Come. dig a hole on there, and a whole lot of other things. But this is the direction Jay was going, to a full-out battle with Cameron and Dipset. Nas never signed to Jay. He signed to Def Jam, and he signed his contract with L.A. Reid, who really ran the company. Jay was just a face. Now, here's the problem. They are trying to convince Jay to do this. And Jay was like, I don't want to look embarrassed. You know, I don't want to look ridiculous. Like I'm begging him, you know, to make up, you know, because I don't really care. It's over. Like that's been over. That's been so long ago. Which it was. It was like 5 years since Ether. So Jay had gotten it out of his system by that point and didn't care about it no more. So they laid down the financial plans on what it was going to look like for Jay. They was like, look, this will be a big monumental moment. Nas and Jay coming together. And he was like, well, what do Nas think about it? And he said, well, we talk to you first. Then, once you're okay with it, then we're going to go over to talk to Nas. He's ready to make the jump. That's something we know. And he knows you're here and the president, and he doesn't care. He's ready to make the jump. So the rest is academic. You know, we'll talk to him about it, but we wanted to do this with you first. Then we're going to go over there and talk to him. So Jay was like, yeah, I'll meet with him. We'll get in the room. We'll all talk it out. So they told Nas, like, we're going to get in the room with Jay. Yeah, you know, yeah, word. Now, at this point, I won't say Nas was bankrupt, because he wasn't. Nas was losing money. Nas and Khalees had blew through a lot of money. And due to the fact that they had blew through a lot of money, a lot of things weren't on the table no more. So this was something they needed. They needed this move. So Nas didn't care what it detailed. He wanted the bag. And they backed up the money truck for Nas. And people was like, why are they supporting Nas? And people like Jeezy, who was jealous of Nas, and was getting all this push when he feel like, yo, I'm the one that's making these moves. Why they doing all this for Nas? I'm gonna drop my album. I'm gonna go against Nas. And boy, did Jay cuss him out for that. Are you stupid? Jay was like, did you see what happened to me? See, Nas won the battle and Jay won the war, is how they look at it. But they both won. Because Jay and, Jeezy went out there thinking Jay was going to support it. Jay was ready to knock his head off his shoulders. He was like, if you succeed in screwing up Nas's album, I'm going to rub your face into some dark broken glass. Do you realize that we are in partnership with him? We both are connected. They have endorsement deals. They have everything in place. So they're gonna drop back to back. Nas dropped Hip Hop Is Dead. It sells about 700,000 copies. On a very limited budget. Now this is Nas. So when they drop this, everything changed. Jay is working on his album, and everybody's waiting on the Jay and Nas song. And the Jay and Nas song, Black Republicans, was leaked all over the street like the moment they recorded it. Everybody's pissed off. So they decided that it was going to be on Nas's album and not Jay's. They were supposed to do a song on Jay's album, but they scratched it. After the Black Republicans leak and all that, they said, and Jay was like, I don't really need it. I got enough songs. So Jay didn't need it, he felt, to sell his album, but to sell Nas's album, let's get Nas' album going. Because this is going to help the company, which is going to help my position and make me more money. Nas' album hit and sold about the same amount of units as Jay-Z's album. And Jay-Z spent almost $20 million of the budget promoting it. I mean, Monday Night Football, everything, promoting the album. No rap album at that time had been promoted like that. Kingdom Come is the most promoted flop in the history of hip hop. Well, Jay was out of sync. While Jay being gone and not really being in sync, he was out because he was conflicted. His concert was supposed to be the Address the Nation concert, where he comes out and diss Dipset. And he had to Face the Nation, like this song, Face the Nation. He was gonna have Rockefeller on there, the whole rock. Beanie Siegel and all of them was going to come out and support all that. He went away from that whole plan. Dissolved it. Went away from it. Want nothing to do with it. Stepped completely away from. And everything went towards building Nas and unifying. That was the new direction. And it happened overnight. So the album was conflicted with two different styles. First, it was supposed to be a diss album, Kingdom Come, him dissing doggone Dipset. Then that switched to the corporate nation. So Kingdom Come was the album. Fighting with each other, and that's weird because the same thing happened to Nas years earlier on God's Son. His Godson's album was going after everybody. He was going after Cam, and then his mother died, and then it went to a Peaceful Journey album, and it changed. It was two different albums. So because he had so many songs already done, he couldn't change all of them. The direction of the album changed. That's why it is. Songs like Crab in the Barrel was gone. There was another song on there. And now just basically destroyed all those records and just removed them off the album. And then they were replaced by songs like If Heaven Was a Mile Away, and some of the song he got with Tupac, Thug's Mansion, was added on there. So Jay went through the same transition. Now, when Kingdom Come flop, and Nas basically did the same numbers as Jay and brought in all that money, and they didn't spend all that money, Def Jam is pissed. And now the other artists are pissed. They didn't have any budget money for their albums. Hey, can I get a water? They didn't have any budget for their albums. But hey, what's up?
Yeah, there's no garbage there.
Yeah, I'll just go in the bar. Go to. Plans have changed. So while all these corporate deals are put in place, sponsorship, big money deals, Leroy Cohen, who left and went to Arista, Jay is ready to leave now. But not before he does and get himself in position. He did American Gangster. How many of y'all think American Gangster was a soundtrack? I apologize. This isn't on YouTube. This is all on me. Oh, y'all getting this now? Okay. I don't know what's going on with the reception over there, but if I come over here and stand in this spot, can y'all hear me now? Okay, it seems like we're getting back on point a little bit. Anyhow, I don't know where we cut off at, but let me go here. How many of y'all believe that Kingdom Come? How many of y'all believe Kingdom Come was a soundtrack? I mean, how many of y'all believe that American Gangster was a soundtrack? Is there any of you that believe that? It was not a soundtrack. I didn't know if you could hear me or not because everything's been messed up since I don't know what's going on with the internet here. But no, it was not a soundtrack. It said inspired by the motion picture. Jay did that in case he dropped another flop. Jay was afraid to drop another flop after Kingdom Come. So when he did it, he was trying to make it look like it was a motion picture soundtrack. He changed all the music. He changed the tone of the album, made it more soulful. He brought Puffy, and Just Blaze was fired. He blamed Just Blaze for Kingdom Come and fired him. Where before he would go back and forth with Just Blaze and Kanye told him, you got to get rid of the imposters. Now, I think people know the difference between Just Blaze and Kanye West. And Just Blaze made some tracks. Don't get it twisted. Just Blaze made some tracks. He made some real bangers. But I think we know the difference now between him and Kanye West. But Just Blaze is fighting. Yeah, Just Blaze is nice. I give him credit for that. But with this success, this album was only intended, which had the song with Nas on there, the success and everything. They were trying to sell this record and push it over, as this would be Jay-Z's last album under Def Jam. Jay was trying to get back some of the money. This whole album was so he can have the money back to get out of Def Jam. And people didn't realize that during this time, Jay wasn't with Beyonce. They had broken up. So during that whole time period, there was no Jay and Beyonce. When Kingdom Come was out, Jay had to change everything. And he got Beyonce back. When he started wearing the suits and ties and being like the boss, drinking the cognac guy. Once he switched to that guy, and became more him, instead of the hat cocked off to the side, leather coat. Once he flipped that script again, and don't forget to hit the like button, good people. Oh, thank you for the cash out. Much love. I saw your cash out. I appreciate it. Love and respect for that. You ain't win all my money, did you?
Huh? Lost everything.
Oh, man. So, definitely, they did all of it. They both won. Jay made songs for the nightclubs. His whole image was nightclub, party clubs, period. Nas records was more street records for people in the neighborhoods and conscious thinkers. Very few nightclub songs. Back then, like in today's time, you could play anything in the club. You could even go as far as back as over there. Back in the day, and you could, back in the days, they used to have rules. Now they play anything in the club. And they don't even care. Everything sounds the same. But back in the days, you had to have a club record. It had to be a good club record. It had to have some spins on the radio for it to be included. Now, Nas became their biggest commodity when Jay left. They let him go for Nas. They let Jay-Z go for Nas because they said, look, Nas is bringing in the same amount of money and we got to spend less on Nas. We got to spend all this money and you ain't bringing in that much, Jay. So when Jay went to Arista, Leor Cohen arranged it to go there because he was at Arista before he left and left one of his minions in charge. And they brought Jay over to Arista. And he gave Arista one album. And they paid Jay all this money. And they bought him out. Jay had to pay $20 million back to Def Jam. All that money he blew in the budget had to go to Def Jam so he can get out of the deal. And what he did was he had to give up his publishing. He had to give up the rights to his name. He did not own Jay-Z anymore. A lot of stuff y'all don't know, man. That's why his name was spelled Jay with the Z, connected. It was no more hyphen. The hyphen was gone. He didn't own it no more. So his new name was Jay-Z still, but this time it was spelled different. A lot of y'all didn't catch that. I told you. Whole nine. So Jay-Z had to go years before he was able to win back his name with the hyphen. Now he's got the hyphen back in his name. He had to fight and get his name back. But for years, he wasn't Jay-Z. Well, now Jay is bigger than life because he's bigger than life outside of the music. The music was just the vessel that opened up everything else. They used him and they swindled Rockaware. They got all these other deals. But Jay was the guy who people were still gravitating to because he knew how to jump on party records. And Kanye West kept him relatable. And Rihanna would have phased out. Do you know how many albums Rihanna dropped before Umbrella hit? Rihanna had like 3 albums out. None of y'all really remember that, do you? Rihanna had so many songs out, nobody cared or gave a damn about. Then Umbrella just hit. Because they was about to let Rihanna go. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. They was about to let that go. Who was that, Clay? Thanks. I appreciate that. They was about to let Riri go. They didn't know what to do with Riri. They were like, look, we didn't slept with this thing and banged her out. We done. You know, I don't know what we're going to do with her. But she ain't selling no record. The internet in there isn't working. Yeah, it keeps buffering when every time I'm on there. Right, but the nicest artists are not usually the most successful. Nas was able to continuously be successful and be nice. People would physically grab a Nas album. Where Jay-Z, it takes marketing, it takes pushing to really get his album to go. Because he normally made the club record. But when Kanye came back, he brought Jay-Z back from the dead again. After the Black Album, again, he stepped away from Kanye. Jay wanted Kanye to just be a producer and make music. Make the beats, stay in the background, be another Just Blaze. Kanye had bigger plans. So after the Black Album, Jay stepped away from him again. After all he did for that album. He was like, man, I got 2 songs on there. My 2 songs was hitting. You know, like, and he was like, okay. Everybody else got the rock on the tour. He didn't get a chance to even get a ticket. They didn't even give him a ticket to go. And he produced 2 records on the song. So in Jay's final tour, before he retired that time, not only didn't get a chance to spit it, Pauline told me I could buy 2 tickets. I guess Big Brother was thinking a little different and wanted to keep Little Brother at bay in the distance. See? And that's how it was. Now, right, so at that time, you know what? What do you know is fact? When that happened, he stepped away from Ye, did his thing. Kanye blew up. College Dropout dropped and blow throughout the course of that. Jay retires. He didn't use Kanye at all for that Kingdom Come out. There's no Kanye, nothing. As soon as that's done, and the project is gone with American Gangster and all that, now he needs Kanye. Kanye's bigger than ever now. Jay wants to come back, but he needs Kanye. He got this Arista deal. Blueprint 3 is coming. He needs Kanye. This is his big deal, his breakthrough. His first big record that he know because of this, he could sign this deal with Live Nation that's gonna pay him hundreds of millions of dollars off the gate. And Jay, a lot of people didn't know, signed a 360 deal. That meant Rock Nation's getting paid off everything Jay-Z do in business, concert tours, and the record sales. Total 360 deal Jay-Z signed. But this album had to hit. And this album is basically a Kanye West album. Kanye West gave them all these songs. Reinvented Rihanna with all this Run This Town, the video concepts, everything was Kanye West. So after this, the song Death of Auto-Tunes is Kanye West's song that he gave to Jay-Z. DOA, Death of Auto-Tunes. That was Kanye's song. And Jay liked the concept. And Jay was like, oh man, I want to use it. So he let Jay-Z use it. Y'all didn't know that, did you? A lot of y'all didn't know. Now, well, the thing is, it changed the sound up. Kanye was making Rihanna what she was and giving her a unique sound and putting her on the right type of records. Then people starting to learn how to work with her. Drake and Kanye were working together and doing things now. So when that whole thing went down, everybody got to see it at face value. At this time, Nas and Def Jam, they're having friction because the company is going through a whole new revision. Now, Jay and Nas is on two different labels now. Live Nation got Jay out of there. But Def Jam needs Nas. So they're going to give Nas anything he wants. But now they fighting him because L.A. Reid is going to be out the door. L.A. Reid up and leaves. He brought Nas in. Now you got all these new people in there. If they don't know Nas, they don't understand the situation, but they realize what value he brings to the label. So they follow his project with the end project, which he wanted to spell the N-word completely, which started an uproar, and people were ready for the project. They screwed up that whole launch. Then, when he was gonna, fulfill his contract and be out of there and be done with them, because Def Jam wasn't Def Jam no more. He had Lost Tapes 2. And Def Jam didn't want to count Lost Tapes 2 as an album. But the first time they did that with Columbia, they counted it as an album. They're trying to say this is a compilation of old songs. He said, no, it's not a compilation with old songs. And it should count towards the deal because nobody's heard these records. These records are unreleased. So this is a new album. And they was like, well, we don't know. These could have been recorded on Columbia Records and all this stuff. And that'll be another, lawsuit from them. They might own those records and we don't want to do it. So Nas refused to give them Lost Tapes 2. So he said, well, screw it. I'll sit down. Y'all pay me. And they had to pay Nas millions of dollars a year to sit down. So people were like, look, what are you doing? Nas is going to give you another album. And he gave them Life is Good. And after that Life is Good album, they were supposed to come with Lost Tapes 2. That did not happen. Like, there's a song with Nas and Khalees that's never been released, and you'll never hear that song in the history of mankind. But that song has been removed. And that was going to be on Life is Good album. But Nas changed his mind due to everything that went on. Khalees was dropped from her record label immediately after blowing up on some record executives. And Nas tried to save her album. And it didn't work. When the Bossy album, this is why they cut all the budget from her album and everything and just got rid of Khalees. Everybody's like, man, what happened? Bossy was a hit. And the record label just dropped her. They stopped pushing it. She was mean, cruel. But this was Nas's problem. He had to deal with this headache that was in his life, which was Khalees. And how bad of a headache was she? She was a huge headache because her problem was she was distracting Nas and keeping Nas out of the fray. And keeping him distracted with all this nonsense in courts. Nas couldn't really focus. So, how did Nas win? Him and Steve Stout got back together. They started making investments. And they started going into angel investing with all of these different projects that was coming up. So every time they got a sponsorship deal, they would take a percentage and say, okay, we want to get that, but we also want some of the back end money or some of the money that was going to go get paid to us. We want a working round to a percentage or a piece. Then he says, well, let's come out with an angel investment firm. They linked Nas to this angel investment firm, the the Queens Projects. And through that angel investment fund, they were able to get into major doors through his relationship with other celebrities, with other investors such as Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill. It's a lot of different people that came around. And a lot of companies that failed in its initial launch was picked up. And the biggest one was a whole different name. It was on Shark Tank. And it failed. A camera phone on your doorbell. Who would ever want that? Shark Tank investors did not see the vision because it was a whole different name at the time. But they still didn't see the vision in it. Angels investors, Shaquille O'Neal and Nas and other people, they thought about this technology because they're professional athletes and there's many fans, there's people that want to come to their homes all the time. So they see the value in having that security at a low cost. Oh yeah, that's on the Patreon, I think. I did the stacks and the Khalees and all that stuff that went down. So yeah, that was it at the time. But that's how he came out. Then he ended up coming out with his label / imprint. See, that Mass Effect that he got is not a record label, really. That thing is in everything, movies, entertainment. It's not just records. So Nas really don't belong to a label. He's really independent. So now, all these records he's making now, he's getting way more money. He's completely out of Def Jam and can do everything he wants. The Mass Effect is huge now. So Jay and Nas both won. Jay was able to serve the terms of his 360 deal, renegotiate it to where he keeps all proceeds now from concert tours. And Live Nation is still partners with him, but they only get paid off albums now. Jay is able to keep his concert money, which is hundreds of millions of dollars. He was able to get a deal with Duce, and they were able to transition outside of music while using music as the vehicle. So Jay and Nas both won. So I just wanted to let that be known. Hopefully you guys yeah, pay attention to the Patreon today, because we are updating it with something explosive, something that will blow your mind, something that you've never seen before. So get ready for that. Yeah, not effect. I'm sorry. So, right. They're gonna be okay. They both did well, and now they good. You know, Nas made hundreds of millions, and other people know. People didn't even know Nas had that money, and that's the best way to do it. Jay wants you to know how rich he is. Nas don't. That's the difference. But they both won. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'll let y'all later. Thank you for my Cash App donations. But all the guys who want to donate to the Cash App, it's Carceno, Karceno. The like button is free. And I'm